Hey line, hi folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use him pronouns. And yes, I'm wearing the same shirt as I did in the previous video, but that's okay. Today's video, it sort of follows on from the previous video, not the most recent video I filmed, but a sort of recent video I filmed about how no one runs from the truth forever, and today's video is sort of an extension of that in a way. And I wanted to talk about confronting things and people instead of running away. Firstly, I still hold the same belief that I did in that video, and that is no one runs from the truth forever. Like, I can't run from the truth forever, you can't run from the truth forever, no one runs from the truth forever. And I've always hated conflict. Like, my whole life, I've always hated conflict. I've not been in like physical altercations, but like emotional, psychological conflicts, especially with other people. I have conflict with myself as well, like internal conflict, but I particularly loathe conflict with other people. And part of this is because I had really bad anxiety growing up, really bad social anxiety, and then confrontation was like the last thing I wanted to do. And it didn't even have to be like it wasn't like, it didn't have to be like rage confrontations either, like two people like raging at each other, even just like standing up for myself, being like, saying to someone, hey, I don't appreciate this, or saying like, what you did hurt me, for example. Like, just being honest, and like being honest in a respectful way, and letting other people know how I feel and what I don't like is also hard for me. And it's something I'm still working on. It's something I'm still working on now, and I'm not like pro at it yet. It's still a bad habit I'm breaking out of, and as in the not confronting things is still a bad habit I'm breaking out of. Yeah. I've tend to find it difficult to honor myself as well. For example, staying up for myself, being like, this is what I need right now, and also setting boundaries with people and being like, I need some space right now, or this is not what I want right now, or I could do it another time. For example, I've had a bad habit of people pleasing and saying yes to everything, even though deep down it's genuinely not what I want. It's just like, I'm there, but it feels like torture because I genuinely don't want to be there, or I genuinely don't want to do something. But I said yes because I was afraid of upsetting the other person. And another thing is that as a result of not wanting to confront things and be upfront with people about what I need, what I want, etc., I've I've like a bad like being passive aggressive. Like, I tend to be passive aggressive with people because I don't like confrontation. And then as a result of not confronting things and running from it, I keep running from things as a coping mechanism because I don't want to deal with things. So I distract myself in any way possible, try to forget that it exists, distort my reality, whatever I did, and also run again. It doesn't last very long. Like, it's only like a band-aid solution. It's like someone's bleeding seriously from a large wound and like putting a band-aid on top of it. Like, when what's really needed is like going to the hospital and getting stitches, but just putting a band-aid on top of it is not going to do anything. Yes, what I was trying to say, leading from that, as a lot of running, I hold this like pent up rage and like frustration and all of these emotions that arise from me not confronting the thing or the person, but instead holding it in, feeling bitter about it, and then my health starts deteriorating. I just get irritated at everyone because there's this unresolved thing that I'm harboring inside because I don't want to deal with it. And then at first it's not so bad. Like, early on when I run from whatever it is I don't want to deal with, at first it's not so bad. The longer I lie to myself, the longer I keep it inside and not actually deal with the problem at hand, the worse my health gets, and then the worse my quality of life, because once I start feeling bitter, and then even more bitter just builds up and it erupts like a volcano. Just keep feeling bitter at the person and also myself for not being able to confront the thing. This like bitterness and like resentment and this grudge I hold ends up poisoning me. It's like, I don't know if you heard the line, but there's a quote that goes along the lines of like, it's like holding anger or like resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's like this bitterness is killing me, and I don't even know if it hurts the other person because they might know I'm bitter, but like I'm harboring this, I'm not dealing with it, and then it ends up killing me slowly, quite literally. I may have mentioned it before, but I'm a lot better at confronting things now than I was even a few years ago. So it's taken a while for me to break out of the automatic habit, and I always refer back to like neurocircuitry because the way our brain's wired, like habits are hard to break. It's like the neural pathways are formed, and that's our like automatic go-to response or habitual way of doing things. And breaking out of that and building new pathways, because there's a thing that happens called neuroplasticity where literally our brain rewires itself or reorganizes itself in response to different experiences. So like our brain is just like constantly shaping and reshaping itself based on our experiences and what like what am I saying, what we experience in life. And so I've leveraged that to like break out of this slowly, and I wouldn't say the new pathways are like fully formed. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I'm definitely out of the cycle of like habitually resorting to running from things instead of confronting it. My tendency now at this stage in my journey is confronting things like, Lev, you don't like this shit, but just deal with it anyway. And then it'll make your life easy in the long run. The longer you try to run from this and try to deny your reality that this is the truth, the worse everything is going to get for you, and you're just going to be miserable from lying to yourself all the time and not dealing with this. Because conflicts happen, like human conflicts happen, things don't always go our way. And in the other one of the other videos, I also said like to the people who are leaving hate comments on my videos to like take a look in the mirror. But the truth is, I also look at myself in the mirror quite a lot. Not literally, but then I think about, hey, what am I doing? And how is my own behavior possibly impacting others? And an example is the whole relationship incident with my ex-boyfriend. I look back on it and be like, okay, this is, what did I do that went well? What did I do that worked well? And then I also think, what didn't I do so well? And then what things were not so great or like a dick move that I shouldn't do again? And then I use this experience and insight to become a better version of me. Like I could be sitting here on camera and then also off camera in my life denying everything I did and then denying my mistakes and refusing to acknowledge that I did fuck up at some points. I could do that and be like, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong, it was all him, yada yada yada. But that doesn't help anyone, especially me. So, in one of my other recent videos about like, what is it? Being honest about when I'm wrong, this is where my point lays. Like, I acknowledge that I did fuck up, and from this incident I also realize things about me that I need to work on, especially in regards to relationships. And I tell myself that I'm not going to get into another relationship or even try to start dating again until I've worked on myself a bit more and like become a bit better at this, because I'm not going to rebound on people. I don't do that. I'm not going to rebound on people because I won't be in a relationship for the right reasons, and I can't do that to people. So I'm going to sort of take a break and then work on myself a little bit and then see how I go from there. And I've already taken action, already booked an appointment with my therapist as a clinical psych, saying I want to talk about a few personal things and work through some things, because it's literally burning issues for me right now. And it's like I'm open to working on it. I'm confronting this shit. I I want to work on it. I just need some guidance, and that's what my therapist is here for. And I think another important point in confronting things is first being aware of it. Like, if I'm not aware of issues or stuff I need to work on, or how my actions or behaviors are affecting others, that's what I'm trying to say, then I wouldn't know what I need to work on if I'm not actually aware of what's going on. That's why it's important to like do a lot reflection, and that's why it's important to work on ourselves. And I stopped living life in like autopilot and not be aware of anything that I'm doing. And another thing is, after being aware of it, is accepting it and taking ownership for it. Like, I used to be very scared of mistakes and like, again, run from it because I didn't want to take ownership for my own actions. But then now I realize how powerful taking ownership for my own actions can be. Like, it doesn't have to be the enemy. I've made it my enemy by like thinking, oh, I made a mistake, I'm a horrible person, I fucked up for life, and yada yada yada. Like, I went down uh that path of like associating one mistake with, oh, I'm a terrible person, I'm never gonna get better, I'm not good enough, everyone hates me, I'm a failure, etc. Like, mistakes don't define who I am, and mistakes don't define who you are. It's like, we're humans who make mistakes. We are not a mistake. I am not a mistake for making mistakes. You are not a mistake for making mistakes. I feel like that's very important to get out there, because there's like the mistake itself, that like objectively what happened, and then there's the other layer on top of the objective reality of what happened, our own subjective emotions and thoughts and feelings that we put on it. Like, there is the mistake, and then there's the story we tell ourselves about the mistake that was made. This is where like the I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'm a fuck up, I'm a mistake, yada 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 comes in, and then gets associated with the mistake. And that's when things get worse, because the mistake objectively is different from just the mistake itself, is different from the story we tell ourselves about the mistake, and how we we may treat ourselves and whatnot in response to the mistake that was made. Like, for example, when I had really bad anxiety, like when I thought I made a mistake, like when I said something and I'm like, my anxiety was saying, oh god, Lev, you're such an idiot, like why did you say that, now look, they hate you now, like you made a fool of yourself, and all of this stuff. There was like the objective reality of what happened, and there's me just torturing myself because I think I'm a fuck up for making this mistake. But now, again, like breaking out of that, my thought is now, yes, Lev, you made this mistake, but this doesn't mean you are a failure or that you are a mistake. Like, it's okay to make mistakes. You can leverage this mistake and take the lessons from it and learn to become a better version of you and to not repeat the same thing. As for confronting people and being honest about things, you may have heard, like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think that's very important. Like, the same point that is conveyed like in a angry sort of rage way, and then versus a more gentle and kind way, the same message, I mean, the intention of the same message would be maybe perceived very, very differently. Like, for example, if we're honest about something and we're expressing, this is what I need right now, in a respectful way, and the other person on the receiving end doesn't take it well, it's not a reflection of you or me, but the person on the receiving end. Yeah, definitely do think another thing I wanting to work on and I need to work on is like holding space for conflict that is like conflict as in not like full on rage, but like disagree points of view or like having different beliefs about something. um Being able to hold space for my side and then also the other person's side, like, and all of the emotional baggage that comes with everything. Because again, I tend to say, like, no one comes out of the womb being like, okay, when I hit XYZ age, at this stage of my life, I'm going to do A, B, C. Like, no one comes out the womb and thinks they're gonna do like XYZ at like 20 years later. Like, that doesn't happen. Um, so yeah, being able to hold space for both people's, my one and the other person's, like, trauma, baggage, hurt, working together somehow to navigate these wounds in a very empathetic, patient, kind way, and one that is comfortable for both people. Like, that entire thing is just a skill set in my personal life that I need to work on, definitely. And this is another important part of relationships, I realize, is like being able to hold space for both people's traumas and baggage and not get pissed at each other for each other's wounds and hurt. That's all the thoughts I had for this video. I do have another video sort of following this video about like baseline happiness. So that's sort of going to be connected to this video, and I don't know when I'll film that and post that, but soon, ideally. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.